Welcome guys, the winter balance patch dropped and it had a lot of minor changes which kinda mixed up the meta a bit. Basically it was a balance patch and a pretty good one, I would say as well. And you might already read it or saw it somewhere. But I'm gonna talk about it a bit and what I think. The first thing, they changed the Entropic because they didn't like that it had a huge damage output in the beginning. And they made it that it starts slower and spews to the same damage, but has a higher increase per cycle. What does it mean? We have a Vedmak with occult loaded. When we put it on 0 and on the old version on 0, we can see the damage difference. On the right side we have the old version of Piper, which runs before the damage patch, the balance patch was on the server, and left we have the newer version with the balance patch, and we see we lose around 72 damage from beginning, which is not huge. It doesn't destroy the Vedmak. What does it mean when we put the numbers in? We have left the graph of the old version, the right graph is from the old version, the left graph is from the newer version. When we now simulate the damage we do over time. Now to the damage graphs of both Vedmaks. I looked at them and it's a major change to the damage you deal. So when we look at the damage we do on a ship over time, we can see in 80 seconds we do on the new Vedmak 42,000 damage, and on the old we did 46,000 damage. So it's overall a nerf of the Vedmak. But to be honest, the Vedmak was already a very strong ship with the triple utility highs. So a lot of people feel it double or triple newt. And the activation cost on the newts, yeah. It always meant that you win the cap race against any other ship, and then additionally you had the extremely good tracking. Quickly, even so the patch says something about 30 cycles to get max damage, the Iki still, or like the Tech 2 ships still need 60 cycles. Here's the old version, and here's the new version, actually 61 cycles. The Zirnitra didn't got any nerf in terms of the gun. It still has the same damage, starting damage and top damage, as you can see. And when we put it on spool 0, I know there's no bastion or anything in it, but we can see just by looking at these numbers it stays the same. The next thing people were mad about, I guess, was how strong rapid light supply on grid, or like how overused our rapid lights are. And basically all the rapid light ships got a change. So when we compare the old Osprey, it had 76 kilometers nearly with rapid light factions, and now it has 50.6 kilometers, just with the hydraulic bait thruster in. Does it break the ship? Completely not. You can still use it. 50 kilometer is still a pretty decent range. But it will destroy these Osprey Navy and Caracal fleets, which can shoot up to 100 with rapid lights and frag everything out there. So it will buff assault frigates by a lot, but for smogging the Osprey Navy, it's still viable. It's not only the Osprey Navy, it's also the Onyx and Caracal, but I think the Osprey Navy is the most used ship with rapid lights. The Otwus didn't got a rapid light nerf, so it still stays the same. Let's talk about the Exeq, the most hated and most loved ship. It got a damage reduction from a stat bonus. The damage bonus got reduced from 25% per skill level to 20%. What does it mean? On raids you do 64 damage less, and on plasters you do 101 damage less. Is the chip bad now? No, it's still an extremely strong brawler, because as you can see, when we remove the implants, you still do 3.6 kilometers per second with just a normal MVD and a plate in it, which is extremely strong. I still believe it needs a slight speed nerf. But in terms of numbers, when we look at the Exeq, the old damage without any damage mods was 588, which was way higher than the Vigilant and Deimos as a comparison. Now it's 549, which puts it under the Deimos and Vigilant. And that's kinda balanced now in terms of damage. The speed is still the second highest after the Scat Fleet issue. Yeah, so that's why I think, especially with the plate bonus, it should be on the same level as the Navy, or even a bit lower. Yeah, but that's about the Exeq Navy. Some minor changes are that Marauders now have a slightly less warp speed. What does it mean? It got reduced from 3.5 to 3 because CCP thinks that they are way too fast on grid. I think the MJD is more likely the problem, because you can't separate the enemies on grid when they have Marauders, because the Marauders will always end up in the front line, because they can jump every 45 seconds. So when we do the math on the MJDs, and the reason why I believe that it's broken is when we look on the MJD, we see I'm not max skilled, we have 9.6 seconds boot up time, plus 54 seconds reactivation delay. So it means when we perfectly time it, you can switch to the small screen real quick so you can see the calculator. It means that we do 100 kilometers, so 100,000 meters divided by 64 seconds. That equals to 1,560 meters per second, basically. That's as fast as a battlecruiser goes, without any prop mod on. That's pure MJD. And that's why I believe it's too fast. The MJD cycle should at least get doubled. Another change for the Black Ops enjoyers, the roll bonus got fixed. It was before 6.5 and got to 7.5 now. And a huge thing is the command chips. The Absolution, Nighthawk, Hexator and Sleipnir all got a roll bonus now with 50% more range on the command links, which is huge for them because they fell off a bit. Nobody liked to use them in small gang because the link range was not reliable. It was more self-link, but now they changed it completely. So a max skilled Astarte now has 49 kilometers, but that's kind of unrealistic with Fleet Command 4. We have 47 kilometers. The Astarte also got a rep bonus. The rep bonus got better. We went from 7.9 no, sorry, from 7.5 rep bonus per level to 10%. So, and now got a better rep, means on a kiting fit, like the one I used in my videos, I do 20 EHP more. I think that's minor change, but for the brawling enjoyers, it's a huge change. You can make crazy tanky Astarte fittings now. The Nighthawk got a missile change. We go on to Nighthawk, Kite Nighthawk. We have on both ships missiles now. The new Nighthawk got slightly less damage when we shoot the same missiles. Suppose Scorch Heavies, because they changed the stats a bit. They made it now that, let me look at it, they changed the damage to 10%, or buffed the damage of the kinetic missiles by, to 10% per level, but reduced the launch rate of fire to 7.5%, means it's even more kinetic locked. And it will also do less damage when I see it right. Same fitting. But yeah, I can show you the kinetic lock as well. We load Nova on both ships. Here we go. On the old one we had 418, on the new one we have 335. It's a kind of huge deal, to be honest. It means you can spec tank way better against Nighthawks. And maybe the Claimer will become a new mainline doctrine ship for some people, but we will see. The Bellicose got a slight fitting change. The power grid got increased from 700 to 780, and the max velocity got increased from 240 meters per second to 260 meters per second. Nice little change. Was a bit underpowered cruiser. Still believe it's kinda underused because the bony you get on the Bellicose is not very useful. You are better off taking another Evo ship. The Firetail has the last ship which got a change, and that change is extremely good for the arty enjoyers on the Firetail. It got a fall-off bonus. When we look at the ship stats, the old Firetail had 25 damage bonus, 10% tracking. The new Firetail also got a turret fall-off bonus now. So it looks minor, 3 kilometers more fall-off, but when we look into the graphs, I know we are looking into the graphs a lot, but that's Eve. And we set it up on 30 kilometers. We see on 18 kilometers, so like a nice point range. We do 16 more damage or 50 more damage on the new fighter. That's extremely good for all the fighter enjoyers. Like everyone who flies frigates, they know how important that little damage increase is. Makes it a strong ship, or maybe not the strongest ship, but a better ship now. It was kind of underused in faction warfare. Another noteworthy change is under the modules. You can now pre-overheat your modules when you jump a Stargate, a Chipcaster, Anziplex or Wormhole. Basically saves you a second. The other changes are quality of life changes. You can read them by yourself. It's a lot of information and it's not relevant to the current meta. What is my opinion about the balance patch? I really think it's a very good move CCP did to just slightly change the meta and not completely change something 0 to 100 like they did on the Marauders. Making slow steps towards the right direction is way better than making one huge step and maybe falling down the stairs. Yeah, and I hope they continue like that. Like small little changes. Look what's the top meter grinder right now and put it a little bit down and improve the old ships a bit more so we don't have that constant power creep. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope I could help you out a bit with the patch. And maybe you change your fittings, maybe you say after this video, we're gonna stay with the same fittings since all of them are basically still usable. Yeah, and I hope you liked the video.